Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. We got the Bad Boys Bowl sponsored by Diddy on the TV. Well, let me turn the music down. So, of course, we got the Bad Boys Bowl sponsored by Diddy on TV right now. Rutgers is right now running it down Miami's throat as we speak. Number 5's averaging 9 yards a carry. Just having their way with the JV squad down south. But what is going on? Florida State family, Seminole Nation, in the 863 tribe. Here's your boy POLK, a.k.a. a.lo, a.k.a. the goddamn truth. Decided to go live this afternoon. If you are at work, I'm sorry for you. As you can see, I am not. And if you're not at work, thanks for tuning in. If you're at work and for whatever, and you were able to tune in or just listen, appreciate you. Go over here on 863 Seminole TV. And I think there's a lot of stuff to go over tonight, or tonight, this afternoon, excuse me. Since we've talked before Christmas, a lot of developments, man. A lot of developments. Obviously, it's a game this weekend. This is actually game week. We should be looking at some or talking about some Georgia stuff, but it is what it is there. So we're going to talk about, the Orange Bowl, obviously, the players opting out of the Orange Bowl, and my thoughts on that. You should know my thoughts on that. If you went and watched that video I did about the snub, you know exactly my thoughts about the players opting out. And then, of course, when the heck are we going to get a quarterback? And a quarterback just, decided to up and leave in the middle of prep for the Orange Bowl. A lot of stuff going on since we've talked before Christmas, and we go into the 2024 year. Whole lot of stuff going on, man. So hit the like button, share the video, let everybody know we are live. And I'm not going to. I want to see Rutgers go ahead and run it. They've been running it down their throats this entire game. Miami getting bullied at the line of scrimmage by a Big Ten team. Makes a lot of sense. Them boys weak sauce down there. The Rutgers just literally have ran it down their throat this entire drive. I don't know if Rutgers has threw more than one pass. Shout out to Rutgers. We all, as a family, Rutgers fans here today. Where do we start? Where do y'all want to start? As a matter of fact, before we start, hit the comments. We'll do a quick roll call. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of people in here today. Again, little mid-afternoon live stream. So I get it. You feel me? Some of y'all are working. All kind of stuff going on. But I felt this was the best time for me to come on live. So hit the comment section. We'll do a roll call. I'll give y'all a little bit of time to get in that comment section. Again, share the video. I know I am a little bit early than I originally planned. I think yesterday I messed up. I actually scheduled this for yesterday on accident when it was always meant to be today during the Miami game. And then I scheduled it at 2 because that was the Eastern time. Rutgers just got a touchdown on Miami. Again, just manhandling them up front. Absolutely garbage Miami football team. As this is their normal starters, Miami has not had a bunch of opt-outs. I mean, they got Cam Kitchen and James Williams going pro, but I believe that's about it, So you're looking at the typical 7-6. Well, I think they're 7-5. They will finish 7-6, as you see, as Rutgers is not playing games with these boys. Pretty No Girl says she's going to start off with the QB. Let's do a quick roll call, man. Again, not a lot of people in the chat. So we'll just do a quick roll call, and I'll shout you out as you come in. I got Gator Hater in the building. Lewis, Adangbe, Pretty No Girl, Montre, Terrell, Vontae, Jeff, Williams, Terrell. I think I said Terrell already, but I say you again. Kusami, Know the Rules, Lorenzo, Kendrick, all in the building today on this glorious Thursday afternoon watching us. By the way, SMU got a great introduction to the terrible ACC. If you don't know, SMU's been talking a lot of trash on social media. Of course, everybody's upset about Florida State suing Jose in the building. Everybody's upset that the Great Knowles are suing the ACC in their attempt to get out of that godforsaken conference. And SMU and the Stanfords and the Cows are loud on social media right now. Only for SMU, the number 24th ranked team in the country, by the way. What did they go? 11-1 or something like that. 11-2, 11-1, something like that. They went in the regular season, only to get embarrassed by lowly Boston College. So welcome to the ACC, SMU. All that trash talk just to show that you're going to come in after being a top dog in whatever. Where were they at? Where's SMU at? Were they in the AAC? Only to be the top dog over there, you're about to come to the ACC and be a bottom feeder. So shout out to SMU. They got a rude awakening as Boston College beats them today in their bowl game. And currently we are watching the Bad Boys Timberland Bowl in New York City, sponsored by Diddy. And Miami is down 7-0. Of course they are. Quarterback. Where is FSU's quarterback? I don't know. Here, I'll link these two conversations together because Pretty No Girl alluded to it. So let's just talk about it together. Tate Rodemaker, if you don't know, has decided to hit the transfer portal. Tate Rodemaker, in the midst of bowl preparation, has decided to enter the portal. Now, the timing of that is not great. I will agree with that. However, I cannot blame Tate Rodemaker for hitting the transfer portal. I think a lot of people thought or saw this coming because you cannot be pursuing multiple portal quarterbacks and expect your guys on the team, especially at that position, at the quarterback position, to just stand by and think that that's okay. You essentially are playing in Tate Rodemaker's face at this point. A guy who's been here for 4 years, I believe. So I don't know if Tate Rodemaker is going to have a destination. If he does, it won't be, I don't believe, a big time school. I'm sure they'll find somewhere to go. He might even have to go, maybe down a level, but obviously, I think a lot of thought process. There's a lot of talks that his dad has a lot to do with what's going on here. Again, a lot of it makes sense. You're at a place for 4 years, and the development just wasn't there with Rodemaker. And that, in my opinion, isn't an indictment on the staff, believe it or not. Because I see a lot of these takes going on that what's going on, they couldn't develop Rodemaker. Here's the facts of this whole development. And this is why I always scream, stars matter more than development, because I've always made the argument I can develop. It's a lot easier to develop the thoroughbred than to take the field donkey and try to make him a racehorse. Okay? You take the thoroughbred, that's easier to develop. You feel me? Not every 3-star is going to develop. Hell, not every 5-star is going to develop. So not every player is going to develop. A lot of these guys are ranked where they're ranked for a reason. And it just is what it is. It just is what it is, man. I don't, Tate Rodemaker just apparently didn't have the goods. You feel me? So he's hit the transfer portal. I was not a fan. I don't know if you guys saw the report from 247, which I felt like was unnecessary, uncalled for. Again, this is not me defending Tate Rodemaker in a sense of him transferring, though, I understand it, and I don't blame him for transferring one bit. But I was not a fan of the report of all of a sudden Tate Rodemaker now is not a hard worker. He missed plenty of meetings and practices and workouts. And even if it's true, which I don't know if it's true or not. Let's say it is true. That is an indictment on your, I don't know the purpose of dropping that when he hits the portal. And this is my problem, and has always been my problem with these beat writers. I don't know if they are not self-aware. I don't know don't know if you're my son back there. Just I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's not aware, I don't know if the media is not aware. I don't understand the end game by releasing that information after he transfers. It makes the staff look super incompetent. So you're either telling me that for 4 years, Tate Rodemaker showed these behaviors and went unpunished, which again is an indictment. If FSU, if Mike Norvell and the staff had seen these behaviors from Tate Rodemaker for 4 years and didn't address the situation earlier, essentially telling him to move on sooner and then address, the quarterback position earlier in the transfer portal by bringing in a quarterback with multiple years, maybe a quarterback that didn't mind sitting behind Jordan Travis and waiting his turn, that is an indictment on the staff. Unless you're telling me that this became a 1-year thing with Rodemaker, and this was he just started acting in this manner, which is extremely hard for me to believe. As a coach's son and all these things that the same beat writers have praised Tate Rodemaker throughout the years. Hell, some of them went as far as to say if the offensive line was better, Tate Rodemaker would be the starter. I don't know if you guys remember those articles, but they exist. The same beat writers were saying if the offensive line was better, Tate Rodemaker would be the starter. Those are legit takes by the same guys who just released, or when he transferred, released the whole he wasn't a hard worker, X, Y, and Z. I have a huge problem with that. That's always been my problem with the damn beat writers. They are so. That was an unnecessary. Everything about it was unnecessary. And this isn't coming from some huge Tate Rodemaker fan. You guys know my stance on Tate Rodemaker for a while. You feel me? So, completely unnecessary stuff by, once again, FSU beat writers. Makes the staff look incompetent. Obviously, it's going to make Tate Rodemaker look incompetent. Well, I guess that was the plan, to make Tate Rodemaker look incompetent. But to me, it makes the staff look ridiculous. That you had AJ Duffy and Rodemaker, and the perception of both were that they were not hard workers, and you did nothing to address either one. AJ, I can kind of believe, only because he wasn't here as long as Tate, and he hit the portal. To me, that looks like they addressed it. Tate Rodemaker just looks ridiculous. That whole article, whatever that was, whatever that information release was, just looks ridiculous. Shout out to Tate. Hope he goes and finds. Not mad at him for leaving, and I'm not mad at Florida State for letting him leave. You got to do something. Obviously, and FSU is trying to address the quarterback. So let's get into that as Miami has the ball here in the pin, in the Bad Boys Timberland Dead Ass Bowl. Who's going to be the quarterback, guys? Y'all know my stance on this one as well. I'm a Cam Ward guy. But the question is not so much who's going to be the quarterback. Well, I mean, that is the question. But then a question has arisen today. Should FSU pull the – so there's this assumption that DJU wants to be the quarterback at Florida State. There's this assumption that if Florida State wanted DJ right now, he would enroll at FSU and be the guy. That is the assumption right now. And the assumption is also that Cam Ward is weighing his options between Florida State, Miami, and the NFL. And there's been back and forth reports on that he might be leaning more towards the NFL. I think very recently, I think On3 has a prediction of almost dead even, but I think Florida State has a slight lead in On3's prediction of where he leads between Florida State and Miami. So the conversation is, should FSU allow Cam Ward to continue to weigh out his process, or should they get it over with? I have a take there, and let's get to that one. Again, you guys know my thoughts that I'm all in on Cam Ward, and I think it's fairly obvious that the staff is all in on Cam Ward. Here's my take with that one. I hear a lot of people saying just get it over with, pull the trigger on DJ, blase. I find that interesting because if that was I think the fans want DJ more than the staff do. It's actually fairly obvious to me. The fans want DJ more. If the staff was that confident in DJU, if the staff was that confident in DJU, if it was as close as the fans think that it was 1A and 1B between Cam Ward and DJU, why would the staff allow Cam Ward to just extend the process? They would say, okay, you either want to be here or you don't. You don't? DJ, let's go. Here's the facts. I don't think it's as close as y'all think it is. I don't think the staff is as confident in DJU as these fans are that are so like, let's just pull the trigger on DJ. It's obvious who they prefer. It's obvious who the target is. I get told all the time when I have my certain takes to trust the staff. Trust the staff. Mike Norvell and the staff is proven. I won't argue that. But the same people that are telling me that, why aren't y'all doing the same thing? Why aren't y'all, when it comes to this quarterback situation, why aren't y'all trusting the staff? Why aren't y'all saying Mike Norvell and the staff is proven? It's pretty obvious to me that the guy they want is Cam Ward. If all the reports around everything is accurate, that Cam Ward is still weighing that option. We also don't know if FSU doesn't already know what the deal is at quarterback, and that, for whatever reason, that decision hasn't been publicized yet. Antoine makes an interesting point. He says, I think the staff is very comfortable with DJ. It's just the fact that they don't want Miami to land Cam Ward. Again, I can't even I don't know about that. Maybe they don't want Miami to land Cam Ward. But okay, let's say that is the case. So you're going to alienate DJ before he even gets on campus, because that's what you're doing. Let's say Antoine is 100% right on the dot in that. You're risking alienating your future starting quarterback next year, because there's no Tate Rodemaker. You got Brock, and you got Luke, who's, by the way, practicing with the team right now in Orange Bowl prep. So you're risking alienating your guy. Basically, you're telling your future quarterback, well, you weren't really, not only were you not our number one option, but, I think that is a very interesting way, I'll say, of approaching that. Either DJ's your guy or he's not your guy. And there's, you risk already, you risk messing with a guy's confidence who's already been benched at his last two institutions. He got benched at Oregon State. He got benched at Clemson. Those are facts. Those are facts. That's another reason why it's another reason why I don't quite understand the whole pull the trigger on DJ. Like, if we don't have years of tape on DJ, like if we don't know that DJ ain't been benched in his last two stops. So I don't understand the whole, hey, DJ, they're very, DJ's the guy. Maybe he is. I've been preparing for DJ to be the guy since I heard we were after him. And then it seemed like we have a real legit shot at Cam Ward. It just doesn't make sense to me. Unless, what makes sense to me is that Cam Ward is the primary option, and they're going to continue to vet him, and Miami's looking like absolute garbage. Shout out to the Canes for showing up in New York City. I got Jeff with the $10 donation. Let me get to Jeff's comment here. I think it's definitely going to be Cam Ward unless he goes to the NFL. Of course, then it will be DJ. There's also Texas A&M receiver that's interested in FSU and some other teams too. So I saw Evan Stewart is definitely interested in Florida State. Jeff, appreciate the $10 donation and appreciate the take. I do think though, so as we talk more about this quarterback position, I do think you have to tell Cam Ward he's got to, for lack of a better term here, you got to shit or get off the pot at some point. Because if you're Florida State, you are trying to upgrade your roster as a whole. And how do you get an elite wide receiver like, Stewart out of the transfer portal? Well, he's got to know who's throwing him the ball. And right now, FSU's quarterback position does not look ideal for anybody that's a skill position player on the offensive side of the ball that's in the transfer portal that might be considering Florida State. You don't know who the hell's throwing you the ball. So I do think at some point you have to get a decision, and you have to stop caring about what a team like Miami's doing. Miami's about to get boat raced by Rutgers Scarlet Knights on national TV. 6-6 Rutgers, by the way. They're about to get boat raced by this team. Who gives a damn if Miami gets Cam Ward or not? You can't base your decision making, in my opinion, and this is another reason why I personally don't agree with that take. Mike Norvell preaches control what you can control, cancel out the outside noise. Why the hell do you care if Miami, why do you care what Miami's doing? Miami's going to try to upgrade their roster anyway. Why do you care? So appreciate that $10 donation, Jeff.
Yeah.
So, there we go with the quarterback. I ultimately don't know. I want to say I have a good feel on the quarterback, but I honestly don't. And usually, I kind of have my own feelers, and I can kind of say, well, I think FSU's going to lean this. I obviously think they're leaning in the Cam Ward direction. I just don't know if I don't know. I don't know where it ends up at. I do think, obviously, FSU is going to get a quarterback. I've, again, prepared for DJ to be the quarterback this whole offseason, even though it's not technically the offseason for Florida State yet, but we've treated it as such. I have prepared when I found out FSU was targeting DJ and listening to DJ talk. I've always kind of been like, okay, yeah, they're going to get him. That was because I didn't know if FSU had a legit shot at Cam Ward. I didn't know Cam Ward had legit interest in FSU. Apparently he does. So I'm all for go 100% in on Cam Ward. But if by chance you don't get him, you do have to now address the situation. Do you, again, at the point that Cam Ward announces, and it's not Florida State, let's say, is DJ still on board? Maybe DJ's not still on board at that point. Maybe he's like, you know what? I can already tell that I'm not wanted here. I'm good. That's a risk you're taking. There are a ton of quarterbacks in the portal, however, young quarterbacks too. I think the USC 5-star is still in the portal, if I'm not mistaken. KJ Jefferson is still in the portal, if I'm not mistaken, even though I think he's being favored to UCF right now, which makes a lot of sense for him under Gus Malzahn. But that might be a guy, if he hasn't made a decision by then, maybe you circle the wagon on. There's Will Howard is still in the transfer portal, who was rumored that, USC was the favorite for him. But then the quarterback they had last night against Louisville, I think he threw 6 touchdowns. He looked pretty damn good. For USC and Lincoln Riley, do you just stick with what you got? Why take a transfer portal quarterback? There's quarterbacks still in the portal that are available that Florida State can definitely vet and get a guy. So I don't know. I don't think it's a high risk here. Listen, guys, they are running down Miami's throat. Miami sucks. I've always told y'all, I think DJ could be a effective weapon in Mike Norvell's offense, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this guy's a shoo-in as the starter at Florida State. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why, again, you look at his numbers from Clemson and Oregon State, and they're damn near identical. Again, he got benched for Klubnik. He got benched for the Oregon State Cheers, I think it is, that followed that coach to Michigan State, if I'm not mistaken. He got benched at both spots. I don't know why everybody's so 100% in on DJ. It's like they listened to him have an interview and they fell in love with him because Florida State fans are this weird space where they just want to be wanted. So anybody that shows that they want to be here, they fall in love with them. Again, very weird situation. Florida State fans are so jaded and broken and battered at this point. So they just want a guy that wants to be here. But the truth is DJ, and while he can be an interesting weapon in the offense because of his size, he does have an arm, is fairly durable. I'm not sure he's the best option. I know he's not the best option, even if you don't land Cam Ward. I could argue there might even be some better options out there for you. So that's my take on the whole quarterback situation. I don't have a prediction, though. I would love to. I think it's very close to call right now. Anthony says, POLK, I don't care about QB as long as they get the D-line and linebacker right. You better care about quarterback. That quarterback is the most important position to address right now. And I think y'all, again, you know my stance on that D-line. But you better care about quarterback. Christopher Lee Miller's in the building. This is Christopher Lee Miller. Who's the best defense you ever seen in 1 year in Florida State in one season? The best defense I've seen in 1 year at Florida State. Oh, man, that's some good. There's some good candidates there. I mean, this year's defensive line kind of stacks up. Obviously, 2013's defense, hell, 2012's defense. That's just speaking in recent terms. Some really good defenses, man. Montre says Cam's going to the NFL. Well, if he's going to the NFL, that's cool too. I actually don't think that's a good decision for him. Not because I want him at Florida State, but legitimately, this year's NFL draft is stacked. He's not, the Bo Nixes, obviously Caleb and Drake May at the top, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels. Those are probably your top guys there. When you look at next year, who's the guys he's competing with? You could argue he's at the top of the draft board right there. I think it's easy to say Cam's going to the NFL. The problem is it doesn't make financial sense because he's not going to get, at a minimum, he's not getting drafted over Caleb and Drake. And I don't think he'll get picked over, and I'm not even a Bo Nix fan, but I know how that works. And I don't think he'll get drafted over a guy like Penix either. Next year, who's he competing with next year? Quinn Ewers might be the only one. I think we talked about this on Friday night when Jerg was on here. If you didn't go watch that show, we talked about that a little bit with Cam Ward, and it serves him better to enter next year's draft where there's not a lot of stiff competition in that quarterback room. This year's class kind of loaded. Next year's class, not so much. I mean, maybe Carson Beck makes a way into the first round next year. But there's no sure things. And I think going into next year, Cam Ward's going to be at the top of the draft boards. Pretty good no girl said, I'd rather just develop the QBs that have. The problem is we don't have any QBs anymore. That in theory, pretty no girl, I would agree with you. The problem is we went from 4 strong and when I say strong, we went from what I was calling a very healthy quarterback room, 4 deep, we'll say, to a possible and Brock Glenn. We have nothing behind Brock. Right now, the problem is we don't have a quarterback room to develop. And you're not going to throw Luke Kromenhoek in the mix year one, unless he just shows he's that guy. And that's going to be up for debate. I'm glad that Luke's getting an early start, but that's going to be up for debate, right? Fans want Dante Lucas back because fans are delusional, dog. Fans are absolutely insane. Fanatics. That's why we call it that. He's competing against. Yeah, come on. DJU isn't even on NFL draft boards right now. I see why Rutgers came out running the ball. They can't throw for quarterback. Quarterback doesn't seem to be able to have a lot of accuracy there. Sandra says, hi, my Knoll family. Is anyone watching? We are currently watching it as a family. Yes, we are. And Rutgers is having their way right now with the the JV school from down south. So please join us and watch with us. The Rutgers quarterback can't make throws, but as you see, they're just going to run the ball. They're going to give Miami a chance to get back in the game. I mean, that's a 3rd and 14, and they just handed the ball off. So that tells me they don't have confidence in that quarterback to actually make any throws. So that's the reason why Rutgers is 6-6, and we'll see. We'll see if Miami can adjust to what's going on. Miami's going to start selling out for the run here shortly, and they're going to force this guy to have to make a throw or two. So. But yeah, that is the quarterback situation, man. And if we move on to just the players opting out as a whole, we've seen Rodney Hill, I think, and Quayshawn Sapp both go to FAMU. We've seen DJ Lundy going to Colorado. Matter of fact, let me bring it up. I just know those guys off the top of my head. I just seen those guys off the top of my head. So Marcus and Douglas go into Arizona State. Bless Harris to TCU. A.J. Duffy to San Diego State. Richardson to FAU. Those are Malcolm Ray has not announced where he's going. Schrader is still in the portal, no home. Tafasi still in the portal, no home. That's so baffling to me. I predicted he'd hit the portal, but my thing with Tafasi is you go into the portal, what have you proven to think you were some hot commodity? If Tafasi was the defensive tackle that everybody lied to y'all this entire offseason and told y'all he was, that's a premium position. That kid would have a spot. And he does not have a spot right now, obviously. That's a damn shame. It's a damn shame, man. CJ Campbell, FAU. Preston Daniel doesn't have a home. Dylan Brown Turner doesn't have a home. And Winston Wright's going to ECU. And I actually don't like doing this, but I will say when you talk about the guy, because the national media is making a huge thing about all the opt-outs that FSU is having right now. And we'll get also to the guys that are hitting the draft. We're going to touch on that. But I think Georgia has 18 to 19 players right now currently in the transfer portal. And the excuse is, well, they're just depth pieces. Well, okay, then let's go to FSU's transfer portal guy. All depth pieces: Marcus and Douglas, Dylan Brown Turner, Preston Daniel, CJ Campbell, AJ Duffy, Dante Richardson, Quayshawn Sapp, Tafasi, Bless Harris, borderline starter that couldn't stay healthy, depth piece, Thomas Schrader. I don't even know Tyler Keltner, one of the kickers. Rodney Hill, depth piece. Lundy, depth piece. Malcolm Ray, depth piece. Like, FSU's getting nailed for all the portal guys being called quitter, just all this national media attention. And teams like Georgia, who we are going to play Saturday, the excuse for them is, well, they're not losing any of their big-time players. They're just losing depth pieces. Well, this leads to the opt-out conversation. Of course, Florida State's NFL draft quality players aren't going to play in this bowl. I said it when the snub happened. Said if I'm Florida State, I don't even play in the bowl game. Now, obviously, that was emotion talking. FSU was never not going to play in this game. But what else did I say right after that? And I said, if you do play in this game, and if I'm Mike Norvell, any player that has a draftable grade on this team does not suit up in this game. Shout out to Fisk. He's like the only one Kalen DeLoach, Fisk, Bethune, those guys are going to have, they're going to flirt with the draft. Speaking of those two linebackers, I do think they both make it. I could see, I think Kalen DeLoach will get drafted. I could see Bethune being undrafted. Fisk, shout out to him. But for the most part, man, anybody, especially your first round caliber guys, why the hell would you play in the game that the college football playoff told you was meaningless? When you saw your starting quarterback again get his ankle snapped on live television, or if in their cases, in the game. With 2 games left in the season. Shout out to Ja'Cory Brown. He's the quarterback we always thought he was. Just do a pick. Why would you play? If I'm Jared Verse, why the heck? I don't know if anybody paid attention to any of the bowl games last night. Texas A&M quarterback breaks his arm, gets air casted. First play of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Why the hell? If I'm Jared Verse and everybody wants to talk about the bag, the real money in the NFL, first round grade, millions of dollars, salaried at that, why the hell would I risk that playing in the Orange Bowl? When again, Jared Verse is going to go to the combine and he's going to put up ridiculous combine numbers. He will be a top 20 pick. Jared Verse will be a top 20 pick. Why would I risk anything in the draft? Why would I risk anything playing this Georgia football game? So everybody knows that if FSU got to the playoff, none of these guys would be opting out of playoff games. Everybody knows that. And yet we're going to sit here and pretend like FSU's doing something that no one else is doing. Man, stop it. Stop it. Yes, I think they've scheduled a visit with him, that's a good. They have him listed as a linebacker. I don't know Purdue's scheme, but a guy who's 6'4", 280, my guess is they're running some type of 3-4, and that he's an outside edge guy. I think he had over double-digit sacks this year too. So 6'4", 280, who gets to the quarterback, sign me up. I don't know. I talked about it a little bit earlier. No, sir, not me. I really don't have I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a feel for this quarterback situation. I hope it gets resolved soon. I just don't have a feel for it. Anthony says the narrative being pushed is a lot of ESPN BS, making Georgia look like they culture and kids are loyal, and we all know how. I mean, Brock Bowers is opting out of this game, as he should. Amarius Mims is opting out of this game, as he should. All those players, man, who are opting out, all of them. Even some of the lower draftable guys like Akeem Dent and Ronaldo Green. I don't think Ronaldo Green's a top 3 round pick personally, but we'll see. Even those guys, I don't have a problem with any of those guys opting to the draft. They all should go to the draft. Don't risk anything. Hell, undrafted money is better than these NIL deals. I know they hype and boost these NIL numbers up for fan engagement, but let's, for the sake of argument, even say that those NIL opportunities those numbers are somewhat legit. There's a difference between NIL money and an NFL salary. Big difference there. Go get undrafted money before you take any more NIL money. They said some of the guys that opted out aren't healthy. No reason to play injured. I mean, absolutely. Rutgers going to have to find something on offense. Miami is completely selling out for the run right now. I mean, damn, Rutgers. This is an ugly game. Miami doesn't respect the pass. They shouldn't respect the pass, but geez. Mario the QB killer at it again. No, it's not at all. And I think until some of these young men, and this is what I was saying with the Joshua Farmer situation, where allegedly, and they have shot down that rumor, and he has not talked about, or that it has been said that he's taken his name or told the team not to process his portal paperwork. That whole Farmer fiasco. The whole Farmer fiasco right there. But what I'm trying to get at is, it was the point I was making about Farmer earlier. If you think you're that good, stop trying to renegotiate for NIL money. Farmer is eligible to declare for the NFL draft. Go make NFL money. Go make NFL money if you think you're that guy. The NFL money and this NIL stuff, they boost these numbers up, or they inflate these numbers, in my opinion, for fan engagement. Go make real money. Go make real money if you really think you that guy. If you really think you that guy, go make real money. And shout out to Rutgers, man. Up 14. Miami's down 14-0 with a team that can't throw the ball. I love it. Great day to be a Nole as we watch this whooping as a family. Who called transfer? Who cried transfer? Are you talking about Lundy? Not Lundy, Farmer. DJ Lundy went to coach. Yes, he did. DJ Lundy went out there to coach Prime. He sure did. Well, they probably will. Both will. Again, both can. I think. See, Pat's been more quiet since that whole situation with him. Next year, as a redshirt junior,